Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today in Tera, going for the Arun Boss achievement. This is to defeat all of the name bosses in Southern Arun. We're going to be covering these in level order, so we're going to start with the weakest one and then work our way up. This one's going to be located in the Valley of the Titans in the northern area. It's going to spawn every hour or so. We're going to be doing these in the post-game after we have hit max level, which is going to be level 65, and with some pretty decent gear, which should allow us to actually one-shot most of the bosses. So this one's going to be this giant egg. Once you attack it, it's going to turn into a giant spider, and we should be able to defeat it way before that. Moving on up here, this one is going to be located in the northern part of the Oblivion Woods by the first dungeon, over by the Bestial Vale, so where the Bastion of Lok was found in the main game. You're going to have this fellow roaming around. His name is going to be Lanok. He is going to also appear every hour or so make sure you take him out. And then we are going to move on to number 3. This one's going to be in the Celestial Hills. It's going to be by the southern entrance, so make sure you look for it. It's going to be in this giant field of goats and sheep. This one is going to spawn every 2 hours. He's going to be this fat guy sitting all by his lonesome in this field. Make sure you take him out. If you aren't noticing these spawn right away, you can also switch your channel or your server around or turn crossplay on and off, and then hopefully you should be able to get them to spawn, but you are going to have to be patient with this one. For example, this one's going to spawn every 4 hours, so you're going to have to be super patient with this one. This one's going to be in Paporia at the Cliffs of Insanity. Make sure you take the road up the hill. You should notice these creatures known as Fimbrisks, and if you notice one with some quills on it, so like this one, and also a darker color, it's going to be Atrocitas. Make sure you take him out, and then we should be one more out of the way. Next one up is going to spawn every hour in the Basilisk Crag over here in Val Arium, and it's going to be right here in this part of the Vale of Graves. Make sure you look here, there's going to be a bunch of basilisks here. You want to make sure you go to the nest area, and it usually is going to be hanging around here when it does show up. So again, make sure you wait around until it does, and then once you spot it, make sure you gun it down. It's going to be a darker color basilisk, so pretty easy to tell apart. And then once you take it out, we're going to have that one out of the way, and then we can move on. So next one up after that, we're going to head to Ostergarth and then head over to Mistmore Island. This one is going to appear in this area known as the Rain Cages. Make sure you head on over here. It's going to spawn every hour or so. It should be very easy to spot among the other types of enemies. It's going to be this hermit crab right here, so make sure you find it. It's going to be called Abraxis. So make sure you take this one out, and then we should be done with another one. On to the next one. This one is also going to be located in Ostergarth over in Ascension Valley. This one is going to be unique as it is going to be located indoors, so make sure you go to Azarel's Labyrinth. Make sure you locate the entrance, and then make sure you go on inside, and then we're going to hang a left, and then we're going to follow the main hallway right here until we get out. So it's going to wrap around, and then you're going to get to this big open area. We're going to have to head further underground from this point. So once you are here in this first open room, just make sure you go straight ahead. So you're going to go through this door that's going to be guarded by these 2 enemies. So make sure you scoot past them, or you could kill them if you really want to. Make sure you take the stairwell all the way down, and then you should be out in the second open room. And then once you are here, you want to make sure you wrap around the door. So make sure you take a right, and then this should take you into this doorway. And you're going to head to the Labyrinth of Circles on the right of the mini map. So to get there, you are going to follow this hallway until you get to this sealed door. You can blow it open by attacking it, so make sure you do so. And the next boss is going to appear either at the top entrance right here, so it's going to be the top circle, or it's going to appear at the rightmost circle in the middle. So make sure you check those 2. It's going to be Tabruk. He's going to appear every 2 hours. So if you notice the big enemy in this area, make sure you take this guy out, and you should be good for the next kill. And then we can move on to the next one. This one's going to be back in Paporia at the Lake of Tears. It can only appear in one location every hour. It's going to be right here at the southernmost point of the Mad Jester Pass. You're going to head through this little foresty area. There's going to be a campsite right here, and you should notice this flower, and if you attack it, it should actually turn into a lizard, but once you take it out, you should be good for the next boss. So make sure you do that, and then we can move on to the next one. This one is also going to only spawn in one location back at Val Arium in the Arum Road. You're going to notice on the west side of this area, there's going to be a three-way fork. Make sure you take the bottommost path of the fork, and that's going to lead you to this beach. In the bottom corner of the beach, there should be this enemy known as the Solrachnus. It's going to be a pretty long spawn. It only spawns every 6 hours, so make sure you are very patient with this one. But once you finally spot it, it's going to look like this, another crab type of enemy. And then make sure you take him out, and then once you take care of him, we're going to be done with all the easy ones. Then we're going to move on to the last two, which are going to be the big boys. So this one's going to be back at Ostergarth on Serpentis Island. It's going to spawn every 4 hours over here on Dagon's Tomb on the southern part of the island. This one is going to be the Divine Reaver. In addition to having a very long spawn, it's also going to be a very popular boss, as it is going to drop some pretty valuable loot, so you are going to have other players who are going to be trying to go for it. In addition to that, because it is going to be a higher level than the current level cap, which is going to be 65, it is going to be level 68. You aren't going to be able to take it out by yourself super duper easily, so it is going to be a very hard boss to solo and may take you a few hours to actually defeat it by yourself. So hopefully you should be able to recruit some friends or some other players to help you out. I would recommend a minimum of 2 people try to work on this, and both people will get credit for the achievement as long as you are in a party with one another. Even with another person, the fight is going to be pretty long, so hopefully both of you are max level and have some pretty nice gear, and you should be able to whittle him down anywhere from 20 minutes to a half hour or so. So once you take him out, you should get one of the rarer bosses out of the way, but again, be very patient with this one, as people do like to farm this spot in order to try to get his drops. This one's also going to be true for the next boss, which is going to be the last one we need for this particular achievement. This is going to be the Tempest Kanash. It's also going to be in Ostergarth in Firemont. So make sure you head here. It's going to appear every 5 hours in a slew of locations, so you are going to have to patrol the northern part of the area quite extensively. It's another boss that's going to be farmed quite heavily, so be very patient with trying to find one of these. And it's also going to be a level 68 boss, so you are going to definitely want to recruit some help to fight it. It's also going to be very hard to fight solo, as it is going to have a very hefty health stat, and if it ever leaves the fight zone, it's going to recover all of its health, which is going to make it doubly frustrating. So definitely get a group of people together, or at least one other person to help you out, and you should be able to defeat it way sooner rather than later. Once you take it out, that should be all 11 of the named bosses on this continent. Check back soon next time, where we're going to cover all of the ones in Southern Shara, but that's going to wrap it up for Arun. There's the achievement 200 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.